All right, so have you heard about this new Christmas movie, Red One?
Oh, yeah, with The Rock and Chris Evans?
Yeah, it's supposed to be this action comedy.
Okay.
And we're going to do a deep dive on it to see if it's worth watching.
Right.
We're looking at an early review from Collider.
Okay.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
The premise of this movie is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So Dwayne Johnson is playing an ELF agent.
Okay, ELF agent.
Yeah. And then you have Chris Evans playing some sort of naughty list hacker.
Whoa.
And if that's not enough,
Yeah.
you've got J.K. Simmons playing a Jack Santa Claus.
What?
Yeah. It sounds like they're going for a very specific kind of Christmas chaos here.
It does. Yeah, where do you even...
And Collider seemed to be a little confused about what kind of chaos they were going for.
Okay.
They said that the film seems to struggle with its tone.
Okay.
They weren't sure if it wanted to be like a family-friendly Christmas movie or a more action-packed comedy for like an older audience.
Right, because that's a tough line to walk with a Christmas movie.
Yeah. You got to know if you're going for heartwarming family stuff or if you're going for that like more irreverent adult humor.
Right, and they were saying that if you try to do both,
Yeah.
you end up pleasing neither.
Totally. Like Last Action Hero tried to do that,
Oh, yeah.
and that didn't really work out.
So you think they should have just like fully committed in one direction?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so tone aside, what about the actual plot of the movie?
Yeah.
Collider mentions that it leans pretty heavily on the buddy cop dynamic, which, let's be honest, is pretty familiar territory for Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, you know, he's been doing those buddy cop movies for a while now,
Yeah.
but his chemistry with Kevin Hart in Central Intelligence was so good.
Right.
And actually, Collider says his pairing with Chris Evans in this is actually pretty good, too.
Really?
Yeah, so, you know, maybe that'll work.
I mean, I guess the question is, can they bring something new to that dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, it's been done a lot.
Especially in a Christmas context? Yeah. Can The Rock really be fresh and funny with, you know, Chris Evans in a movie with elves and reindeer?
I mean, that's a big ask.
It is a tall order.
But what really caught my eye from this Collider review
Yeah.
was what they said about the world building in the film.
Okay.
Apparently, they have like a militarized North Pole.
What?
And they said their take on Krampus is very unique and visually impressive.
Ah.
Makes me wonder if they could have leaned more into like those imaginative elements instead of relying so much on the buddy cop thing.
Right. It's like, did they actually explore that idea, or is it just kind of like a cool backdrop for all the action?
Yeah, because I'd much rather see them deep dive into that world than just watch another buddy cop movie.
Totally, even if it is The Rock throwing snowballs.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that seems to be like one of the main criticisms of the review.
Okay.
They praise the world building, but then they're like, but it's overshadowed by the buddy cop plot.
Oh, so they're not using it to its full potential.
Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity. And they highlight a Krampus sequence that uses practical effects.
Okay.
And they say it really stands out visually.
I wonder if they relied too much on CGI for the rest of the movie then.
Yeah, maybe, especially in those action sequences, you know?
Right, it seems like such a weird tension.
Yeah.
They're creating this really fantastical world, but then they go back to like this more traditional action comedy.
Yeah, and CGI can really date a movie.
Oh, totally. Especially if it's not done well.
Right, think about the original Star Wars. They use practical effects for a lot of that, and those films still hold up.
Oh, for sure.
Now, I'm not saying Red One is going to be Star Wars,
Right.
but it does make you think about how those decisions impact a film.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, one thing that stuck out to me was what Collider said about the supporting cast.
Good?
Like Lucy Liu and Kiernan Shipka are in it,
Really?
but they said their roles are kind of underdeveloped.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Even J.K. Simmons as Santa doesn't get that much to do after the first part of the movie.
No, it's always a shame when they waste good actors like that.
I know, especially with like Lucy Liu and J.K. Simmons, they can bring so much to even like small parts.
Yeah, do you think that's because the movie is so focused on Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans?
It's possible. Yeah, maybe they just didn't have the space to give the other characters more depth.
Right.
It's kind of a classic buddy cop problem, you know?
Yeah.
The focus is just so much on the two leads
Right.
that everyone else ends up feeling like an afterthought.
Yeah.
But maybe if they focused more on the world building, they could found ways to make those supporting characters more important.
Oh, totally. Like, imagine Lucy Liu as some kind of rogue elf commander.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Now that's a movie I would watch.
That's a spin-off.
So, okay, we've talked about the tone, the plot, the world building, even the supporting cast.
Right.
But what about the actual performances?
Uh,
Collider seemed to think Johnson and Evans were fine, but not like amazing or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely potential there for some good comedy between those two.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Johnson playing the super serious ELF agent.
Yeah.
And Evans bringing his charm and a little mischief to this hacker role.
Right.
It could be really funny.
Yeah, like playing with those classic buddy cop tropes, but with a Christmas twist.
Exactly. And Evans is great at comedy.
Oh, yeah, totally. Did you see him in Knives Out?
So good.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, he can be really funny if he's got the right material.
And even if Johnson is playing like his typical character,
Yeah.
adding that Christmas element could make him do something new.
Right. Like, imagine him trying to be tough while he's surrounded by elves and reindeer.
Oh my God.
There's some funny stuff there.
I see it. I see it. Okay, so do you think this movie will be good for people who like action comedies?
I mean, it does have a lot of the right stuff. Big stars, explosions, car chases,
Yeah, and Christmas shenanigans.
Of course. But, Collider mentioned the CGI wasn't always that great.
Ugh, yeah, that's a problem.
And for action comedies, those big action scenes are a big part of the fun.
Oh, totally.
So if the CGI is bad, it can take you right out of the movie.
Right, it's like with Die Hard.
Uh-huh.
Those practical stunts and effects are like a big part of why it's so good.
Exactly. And so even if Red One has all those things,
Yeah.
if they're not done well, it's not going to work.
Okay, so it sounds like it has some potential, but maybe not enough to make it a Christmas classic.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure without seeing it,
Right.
But from this Collider review, it sounds like they're trying to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Be a big action comedy, have that Christmas spirit, create a whole new world.
Right, and it's not clear if they can do it all.
Yeah.
That seems to be the big problem.
It's like they have all the right ingredients,
Yeah.
but maybe the recipe needs some work.
Okay, so let's pretend we're the chefs here.
Okay.
What's one thing you would change about Red One? Okay. Honestly, I think I would just go all in on the world building.
Okay.
Like really lean into that militarized North Pole.
Okay.
Give us more Krampus. Maybe you would explore some more obscure Christmas folklore
Yeah.
that could make it really unique.
I would love to see that. Like imagine a whole cinematic universe
Oh my gosh.
based on a militarized Santa Claus
Right.
with like elite ELF agents battling creatures and protecting Christmas magic.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Right.
I would watch all of those
You'd
movies.
sign me up, yeah.
And it could still be funny,
Oh yeah, totally.
Just with a more interesting world.
Yeah, it's all about the balance.
Right.
And speaking of balance, the other thing I'd change is giving those supporting characters more to do.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't waste Lucy Liu and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Give them something interesting to do.
Yes.
Let them really act.
Okay, so we've talked about the review. We've analyzed the good and the bad.
Yeah.
We've even given our own director's notes.
Uh-huh.
But the question is this movie going on your watch list?
For me, I think I'll wait and see if it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
The premise is interesting.
Uh-huh.
And Johnson and Evans could be good,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about seeing it in theaters.
I'm with you on that. It's not a no, but it's not a must-see either.
Right.
Maybe it'll surprise us.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a hit.
Sometimes those movies that don't look great on paper end
Yeah.
up being really fun.
Okay, so that was our deep dive on Red One.
Lots of questions.
More questions than answers.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, right?
It is.
What do you think? Are you excited for Red One?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
Do you think it has what it takes to be a holiday classic?
And don't forget to subscribe.
For more deep dives on movies and TV.
Thanks for watching.